No, that was a hard question to answer. Don't I just go into the dream realm, kill a few monsters to complete the first nightmare, receive magic powers, and become an awakened? The old policeman shook his head. Listen carefully. Once you fall asleep, you will be transported inside your first nightmare. Nightmares are trials created by the spell. Once inside, you will meet monsters, sure, but you will also meet people. Remember, they are not real. They're just illusions conjured up to test you. How do you know? The policeman just stared at him. I mean, no one understands what the spell is and how it works, right? So how do you know that they're not real? You might have to kill them, kid. So do yourself a favor and just think about them as illusions. Oh, the old policeman waited for a second, then nodded and continued. A lot of things about the first nightmare depend on luck. Generally, it shouldn't be overwhelmingly hard. The situation you're in, the tools you have at your disposal, and the creatures you have to defeat should be within the range of your abilities, at least. After all, the spell sets up trials, not executions. You're a bit disadvantaged due to, well, your circumstances. But kids from the outskirts are tough. Don't give up on yourself just yet. So Sunny was getting more and more sleepy. It was becoming hard to follow the conversation about those magic powers. You mentioned you will indeed receive them if you survive until the end of the nightmare. What those powers will be, exactly, depends on your natural affinity as well what you do during the trial. But some of it will be at your disposal right from the start. The voice of the old policeman sounded more and more distant. Sunny's eyelids were so heavy that he was struggling to keep his eyes open. Remember, the first thing you must do once inside the nightmare is to check your attributes and your aspect. If you get a combat-oriented aspect, something like a swordsman or an archer, things will be easier. If it is reinforced by a physical attribute, then that's even better. Combat aspects are the most common, so the probability of receiving one is high. The armored room was growing dimmer. If you're unlucky and your aspect has nothing to do with combat, don't despair. Sorcery and utility aspects are useful in their own ways. You'll just have to be smart about it. There are really no useless aspects. Well, almost. So just do anything in your power to survive. If you survive, you will be halfway to becoming an awakened.
For the first time, I was going to talk to the prettiest and most powerful girl in the school. What could...
But if you die, you'll open a gate for a nightmare creature to appear in the real world, which means that my colleagues and I will have to deal with it. So please don't die, Sunless. Already half asleep, Sunny felt a bit touched by the policeman's words. Or, at least, try to not die right away. The nearest awakened won't be able to get here for a few hours, so we would really appreciate it if you don't make us fight that thing ourselves. What? With that last thought, Sunny finally slipped into a deep slumber. Everything became black. And then, in the darkness, a faintly familiar voice rang. Aspirant, welcome to the nightmare spell. Prepare for your first trial. Chapter 2. Slave